The Crypto Markets Update is presented by Grayscale, the world's largest digital currency asset manager.
Let's have a live look at Bitcoin. The CoinDesk Bitcoin price XVX index is trading at $65,348. Bitcoin is up about 1.5% over the past 24 hours. And I think I misspoke previously. The all-time high to beat is actually $66,974. The CoinDesk Ether price ETX index is right now at 42.58, also nearing the all-time high of over $4,300. ETH is charging ahead, up 8% over the past 24 hours. And the new DFX, CoinDesk's DeFi index, is at $628, also making an advance of almost 5%. Joining us now to discuss the crypto markets is Jamie Khurshid, founder and CEO of Jacobi Asset Management. Hi there, Jamie. Good to have you on. So Jacobi recently won approval from regulators on the island of Guernsey to launch a physically backed Bitcoin ETF. Very exciting. Congratulations. And it's only open to institutions when it launches. And there's plans to list the ETF on SIBO in Europe. So just off the bat, what is your outlook on Bitcoin?
So thank you very much for having me. The first point is that it was Guernsey, not Jersey.
Sorry.
We have a few Channel Islands, and we were working with the Guernsey Financial Services Commission. Fantastic regulator, top tier, and did a wonderful job working with us over the last 9 to 12 months to get this over the line. Going back to your question, what is the outlook? Funny enough, I feel like crypto has been a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I'm listening to Chris earlier. It does feel like if somebody puts a price up there, and Lawrence said this as well, it will hit that price at some point, because there has been this concentration of liquidity in certain sort of, I guess, what we used to call whales' hands. And for me, being in crypto has always been a bit sort of at risk of this manipulation from these larger organizations doing whatever they will to benefit themselves. So my outlook for the crypto markets is really a very positive one, because I think now with this ProShares launch, which was fantastic, with our approval from the Guernsey regulator to list on CBOE Europe, having a physical ETF on with Bitcoin as the underlying asset, that's only going to do one thing, which is drive mass adoption, and it's delivering a regulated product that the firms we all want and love to come into this space need. And I think that's exactly, now we're starting to see where we're working together as a sector. We're trying to deliver these products, and with this mass adoption, we're going to see the volatility sort of drop and level out, and really try and sort of de-risk that exposure that we have had in the past 10 years from having whales involved in this asset class, or actually driving it from the beginning.
Jamie, first of all, greetings from New Jersey. But second of all, how much of this week's activity do you think is enthusiasm versus traders taking advantage of specific structural issues in the ProShares ETF, and basically pushing the price higher for something that it might not necessarily be related to the overall market enthusiasm? How do you weigh each aspect?
I think that's the difficult thing, Lawrence, is that you don't really have any obvious driver at the moment, and I feel like the recent gains and recent rises are fantastic, because it's demonstrating that there is a demand there, and of course, ProShares getting almost $1 billion in the first day of interest, that's significant. We're seeing the same in Europe with our ETF, and on the pre-funding side, we're seeing some pretty significant numbers coming towards us, and there is demand there, and that demand, again, I don't like to talk about pushing prices up or down. I think that the market will determine the price, and as more participants come in, as there's more actors coming in, that price volatility is what we're going to get rid of, and that's really the risk that I feel we've solved. In fact, we're solving a lot of risk. We solved the technology risk, the volatility risk, the counterparty risk. But besides that, I feel like we're not here to drive the price up, and we're just trying to sort of mitigate the risk of others manipulating the price.
Jamie, can you talk a little bit about the outlook for for the many other coins out there? I mean, the recent days, all you've been talking about is Bitcoin. And it's true that the charts have generally been a sea of green. It seems like everything's kind of the, rising tide lifts all boats or whatever. But what is your outlook just for some of the, do you expect that we're going to see a lot of correlation going forward with Bitcoin and other altcoins?
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to have been the case since day one. When Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. And I would love to, for me, have it, maybe it's funny to say this, but sort of Bitcoin is sort of taken the limelight. And whilst we've launched a Bitcoin ETF, purely to service the demand and the fact that there is actually a majority sort of interest in that space. At some point, it would be nice where you could start to decorrelate Bitcoin from other sort of digital assets, from this DeFi world. I think, again, as maybe we're asking too much of it too soon, because it is still nascent. If you look back, we're only 10 years in. We have to give it a bit more time, and this is kind of what bugs me about some of the actors in crypto, some of the other companies, is that they're already being competitive, and it's like, well, I don't understand why there's this ultra competitive nature to put people down when they develop something that they haven't done. I think as an industry, for us to get to be adopted, and for this decorrelation to come into effect, for everything to have its own, I guess, its own sort of journey without being tied to one word called Bitcoin. I think that's really where we need to get to. And we need everyone to sort of work together to demonstrate to the regulators and to all the investors that actually this is a safe asset to get into, and it's a safe way to get into it, and it's readily available and tradable as any other asset class.